unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time. Hello. Well, look at that. So here I am. I'm at Liberty Park, Utah. It's hot as hell. I'm melting. And I'm sitting in my van. I just cook up some hot dogs with some nacho cheese, me and Dum Dum. And this guy comes up, kind of a handsome fella, and he comes up and he says, "Hey, what you doing?" And here he is. What's your name?
I'm Brent Walton.
And what's your deal?
What's my deal?
Yeah.
Well, here in Liberty Park, a lot of people know me as the Liberty Park High Five guy.
The Liberty Park High Five guy. All right? Talk about that. What the hell does a Liberty Park High Five guy do?
Well, I run the park, do about 3 miles at a pop a couple times a week, and I exuberantly high five as many people as I can.
And I asked you this before, but I'm going to repeat some questions.
That's
here
perfect.
Because now it's being recorded. How many people high five you?
Probably 9 out of 10 people, I would say on average.
9 out of 10. So that's 10% of the people leave you hanging. Do you think, what happens? Are they afraid?
I think there's various reasons. I'm pretty, I said exuberant before, and they might be a little bit afraid. I've gotten that feedback after the fact before.
Like what, you sometimes stop and talk to people?
Somebody wrote a Facebook post one time how she was afraid the first time I approached her. She was kind of freaked out. And then, the second, third, fourth lap, because we were going opposite
directions. Well, you're lucky you're a handsome guy. If you were an ugly dude, oh man, that would be a good experiment. You need to come and bring in one of your ugly friends.
My ugly friends and have them do it.
Do you have to have them do it a different day to see how much they get rejected? And that's going to be a sad video.
Well,
But so 10% of the people, pardon me for concentrating on the negative.
Yeah, we got 90% positive. That's an A minus, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have opinions about shit, and one of my opinions is I think a lot of times we should, while having gratitude for all the good things in the world, we are inclined to focus on the problems. And we got a problem here. There are 10% of the people in Liberty Park leaving you hanging on a high five. Maybe they don't see you sometimes.
No, I make it pretty clear. I come right at people, and that probably freaks them out. I zigzag around the park.
I think that would freak me out.
Yeah. I have a really, big letters on my shirt that say free high fives, and I literally will point to it with one hand as I raise my hand up to try to clue them in. But I think it's still, people aren't used to that. It's definitely outside of the box for most people.
Well, we're coming from kind of the same planet, obviously, doing weird performances for strangers, interfacing with strangers in a somewhat, what is it? Is it an aggressive way? I mean, I'm aggressively singing sad songs to people. I'm punishing them. And you're punishing people with a high five. Because in a way, you're kind of obligating them to participate in your high fivery.
It's always optional, of course, but yeah, some of them may feel obligated.
Okay, so that's good. That's a good question, too. So you get 10% of the people that don't do it. What percent of the people do it reluctantly? I might be one of the reluctant ones. I'll be honest, but I can explain why.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe it's another 10%. It could be 20. I'm not inside their head, so I can definitely see it sometimes. But I can't really gauge that too much.
But you get some kind of like weird faces that are reluctantly, oh shit, okay, high five.
Yeah, and I also, again, two laps, which is just about 3 miles, and I go opposite the normal flow of traffic and running and biking and whatnot.
Like this lady right here?
Yeah.
We're at Liberty Park. See, she's running.
She's going against the grain a little bit.
Not high-fiving people.
Not high-fiving people. She just doesn't know how to read signs. Because there are signs that tell you to go the other way. But if you're going and walking.
Oh wait, so you're breaking the rules by going the other way.
I think it's more of a guideline. I don't know if it's a law.
Oh, okay. So you're taking advantage of a rule. Some people complain. Who's that? architect genius that did the big round museum, and he did all the crazy ones in L.A. that look like bent tin cans.
I'm not sure.
But a lot of architects get pissed at him because they all think, well, if I could break every rule, my stuff would stand out too. But somehow he gets away with it because he's famous.
Yeah.
They let him do stuff that they won't let other architects do. There is this thing about taking advantage of breaking rules where you stand out. You're a lawbreaker.
I'm a lawbreaker.
But I support that. I think that's good.
With great intent.
You can't obey all the rules in life.
You know what?
That's like, what fun is that? You got
rules are made to be broken, right?
Yeah.
That's the old adage or whatnot.
But you're getting most of the people, 80% of the people are digging it.
Sure.
How many track you down afterwards?
I wouldn't say that they track me down, but I run into people all the time, like in my everyday life, because I've been doing it for over 4 years, and I also teach yoga in multiple places, and just wherever I go. I mean, I run into people quite often if I just converse with them a bit.
Yeah.
And say, ask if they come to Liberty Park, and then, ask
How often
them about
do people find you on the street and just go, hey, you're the Liberty Park high five guy?
I don't know that I've ever had to just. I'll tell you this. Okay, I'll give you a story. I do post about stuff on Facebook, when I have little experiences that happen that I think are interesting. And it wasn't even a year into it, so it was over 3 years ago. I was in Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona, visiting my nephews.
Right.
We were bowling, and this woman, approaches me, and she's like, "Hey, you're Brent Walton. You're the happy high five guy." From Costco, she said, because I also talk about where I work at Costco. She didn't say Liberty Park high five guy, but she referenced me as the high five guy, the happy high five guy. And I was like,
did she add the happy part on, or is that part of it?
She said, "You're Brent Walton. You're the happy high five guy from Costco."
Yeah.
So she was, piecing it together. And
so is this a daily thing too? You high five people at work too?
I do high five people at work.
Sorry,
I high five
I'm
people
interrupting.
at my yoga. Yeah, but
Yeah.
she was one of my Facebook friends. And I have about 4,000, and I did
Yeah.
from some prior, community service work that I did with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And she's like, "Yeah, I follow your stuff all the time. We're friends on Facebook. We've been friends for 4 years." And sure enough, I looked it up, and we had been friends for 4 years. I can't quite possibly, remotely follow 4,000 people,
Yeah,
but some people
same
follow
thing.
me.
I've got 5,000 friends.
There you go. See?
On Facebook, and who knows who
Yeah.
most of them are. I argue with people. I'm very opinionated. That's why I have that's why
That's why I got a podcast.
That's why my thing is called the opinion machine.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? What I did is I took that experience. I took a selfie with her. We were high fiving, and I said, you never know who you can influence in a positive way in the world.
Hey, I think that's good.
even anonymously almost.
Yeah. Oh, so how did it start? What was the first time you did this?
Real simple.
Was it an accident?
It was spontaneous. I dropped off my car for an oil change on State Street, the main drag here, and while I was waiting for my car, I decided to go for a 3-mile run.
Yeah.
Kind of an exercise guy. And so I just
Why not?
went for a little jog. And on the way back, maybe a half mile left or so, I just all of a sudden spontaneously started high-fiving people.
Okay, do you remember the first person?
I can't say that I remember the first person.
Crap.
I know, but
you need to start lying in this part.
I know. I'm
This is the
too
part
honest. I'm too honest.
This is the part where you make up a lie.
But you know what? Most of them were pretty
I'm kidding,
happy
though.
about it. I did get, I think, at least one rejection, but most of them were pretty happy. And I felt this, this moment, this energy exchange, and I was like, what?
Why not?
Why haven't I done this before?
Hey, man, I'm telling you, this is one of those things. I really believe that it's not thinking. Behavior doesn't follow your thinking. It's your thinking follows your behavior. I tell those people all the time, especially people that are depressed or whatever, go, you got to do things that make you happy. You don't wait until you feel happy to do things.
Right.
You actually do the things that happy people do, and then the emotion follows.
I agree with that.
And I have a feeling, but that, if you get certain guys like me, I'm like, well, 90% of the people high-five me and that 10% didn't, and I focus on that shit. I'm like, what's up with these motherfuckers that don't high-five you? You know what I mean?
You know what? It's like magic. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll tell you, people right over here on 7th East, I was running down, the sidewalk adjacent to 7th East. All of a sudden, Dad and 3 kids come running from behind a tree.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just like, and they're super enthusiastic. They high-five me. And so I high-five them. And then I look over my shoulder, and they circle back around. Mom's pulled over on the side of the road with the minivan waiting for them. They're getting back in the minivan. They pulled over on the side of the road.
They tracked
saw
you
me,
down.
Jumped out, and then enthusiastically ran towards me to give me the high fives. I circled back, got a selfie with them, and we posted about it.
You're kind of like you've given yourself a hobby that is hard. It's hard to lose. I often think that the number one profession might be for happiness would be a flower delivery person. Well, hold on though. I've said this for years, but now I just thought about funerals. But who, and I just,
good
why
point.
did that just
Good
finally
point to
dawn on? It just dawned on me just now. I don't know why, but I've always thought, who doesn't like the flower guy showing up, delivering flowers? Yeah.
I've never gotten flowers, I don't think, so I don't know.
I never have either. Yeah, but you imagine if you would, you'd be like happy to get them. You're not going to be like, fuck you, flower guy.
Yeah, no.
Way to go for ruining my day, flower guy. So yeah, high five guy. That's a good one. What else would be a top? What else would be a top thing to do that would keep you in positive mode? I think this one would work. I think yours is a good idea.
It doesn't cost much.
Yeah.
A couple of shirts and.
But it never gets you down when somebody does. Be honest here.
I've had people tell me to fuck off before.
And what? Are you just impervious to that kind of thing?
You know what? The next person generally smiles at you and gives you a high five.
And you may just have a good chemical balance too, where you just have enough endorphins and dopamine and all that good stuff that keeps you positive anyway.
Yeah, there might be some truth to that. And right before, that guy said that, somebody, maybe 8, 9 people gave me high fives. He told me to fuck off, and you don't know what people are going through, right? You don't know, and I posted about it actually, and the way I kind of phrased it, I wasn't maybe that understanding with the post about like I didn't understand his battles.
Yeah.
And people
and
people brought it to light, like I don't know, maybe his dog just died or his wife just left him or who knows what, or his boyfriend.
Or maybe
could be either one.
Maybe he accidentally killed his sister in a high-fiving accident.
That's a possibility.
You never know.
Probably unlikely.
He might have missed and smacked her right in the face, right into the grave. And you brought up that terrible, terrible memory for him. So yeah, you never do. But like with this van singing in the piano, when I go to L.A., it's weird because you'll have one moment, you'll pull over and you'll play for a group of 30 people, and it will just be this magical experience, where everybody loves it and everybody's got such good vibes. Close up the door, drive down the street, same songs. You're invisible. Nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? And you're thinking, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, what kind of weirdo have I turned into where I'm pulling over? But yet, and that's coming right after a magical experience where you're going, this is the greatest thing in the world, playing music for strangers.
Yeah.
So there is an up and down thing.
One of the other things I've done around here, not as much, but I've taken like Famous Amos cookies, like in little bags. I bought like a giant box at Costco and bought 5, 6, 7 boxes. Stood on the street corner and handed them out to cars as they went by. I stopped at the red light.
So you're like positive guy.
Some people might say that.
Hey man, I'm kind of a cynic, but I'm actually really I love.
But you're doing a beautiful thing here.
Oh well, I mean, like I said, I have this weird conflict. Like that's why I was asking about the people that don't high five. Well, for example, like I'm not a guy that slows down for a busker. I'm not a guy that will tip. I don't want to stop for a street performance. When somebody's street performing, I kind of power right by, don't make eye contact because I don't want them to engage with me. You know what I mean? And now I hate those people. Like those people. I'm singing this sad song from my heart, and I see a guy in my periphery, and he's just, Facebooking or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a good thing that you're doing, I think.
I enjoy it, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it as well.
How bummed would you be if somebody else came? What if you had competition? Some other guy started doing the high five.
I think there's plenty of room in the world for more than one high five guy.
Yeah, and yours is a better. I think it's a better gig than the hug guy. The hugging is a little much. It's a.
Some people might feel that way. Everybody's got a different perspective.
Do you use a hand sanitizer?
I wash my hands before I go. And
what about, and you forget, don't touch your nose?
Yeah, I try not to.
Imagine this. So
rub my eyes.
in a year from now,
bad idea.
The plague has reached Salt Lake City. Patient 1, high five guy. Spread it to thousands of people.
I am the beginning of the apocalypse.
Yeah, that's right. The whole thing's crumbling down just because you tried. No good deed goes unpunished.
That's what they say.
Has anybody come after you, and has anybody ever lectured you on why you shouldn't?
I don't.
Besides me, I'm probably being the most negative of all this. And I'm not being negative.
There was a Reddit post actually because it says Liberty Park High Five guy on my bumper sticker, and somebody took a picture of it and posted it on Reddit locally, and then people identified who I was and said a lot of really nice things. It was really kind. And then there was one guy who was like, "Yeah, I wish you wouldn't do that," and
I go, why? What's his problem?
Not everybody wants a high five. I can't remember his exact comments.
But it is true, because there is a thing, and I don't want to. You should never stop this, because I want to focus on that 10% of the people who don't do it. I mean, because what the fuck is wrong with them? And when I say that, I'm saying what the fuck is wrong with me? Because I might be one of those 10% guys. I'm walking down the street, this cheery guy comes, and I'm like, I can imagine myself going, what the fuck's this guy's deal? You know what I mean? What's he so happy about? No, I'm not. I might.
It could. You know what? Based on what you're saying, I believe it.
Depending on the mood, because sometimes you're in a good mood and you're feeling chipper and you're bouncy and you want to do stuff like that, and other times you're just like.
And that's why I think I've got a few negative reactions from time to time.
Okay? Did you tell me the most positive one? I want to hear the best one.
Oh, you know what? It happened just the other day, in my opinion. So I brought out a guy that I met skydiving. I'm a kind of an avid skydiver.
Yeah, you sound like you have a lot of good priorities in your life.
I like to have fun in different ways. And anyway, he was riding around on one of the little Razor scooters, and he had his GoPro because I want to get the YouTube channel going.
Yeah.
And so within 100 yards, we came up on a group of, I'm going to say, middle schoolers, maybe freshmen, high schoolers, some pretty young kids. And they were a cross-country running team, so maybe 20, 25 kids, and they were huddled up. And I came running right up to them like, who wants a high five? And they all just started raising up their hands. And so I just circling through them, and they're all just excited and high-fiving me. And then all of a sudden...
Are they a school group?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're a school group. And all of a sudden they started chanting, high five guy, high five guy, high five guy. I mean... Yeah. I'm out for a run. And you
had one little small tear that came down your face.
This is amazing.
This is why I do this.
This is why I do this.
Believe it or not, I'm being funny, but I totally understand that, because I'm doing the same kind of dumb shit.
Yeah.
I think your system is a little bit better because you don't have to really. The interaction is in and out. You're in and out.
It's seconds.
Yeah.
It's seconds.
You don't have to see people in the periphery judging your song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, let me see. I got more questions here. What was I going to say?
I don't know. I threw you off with the camera.
Oh, yeah. But, so do people take pictures? Oh, I was going to say, I was going to give you some advice here before you start your channel. These 360 cameras beat GoPros because they film everything.
Right.
And then that way you can get their reactions as they're leaving, too. They're very simple. I carry one everywhere I go.
Great idea.
Yeah. You just get one of these little things.
My roommate has one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would recommend
same exact one, I think.
Because if you're high-fiving people, you want to get the moment, and then you want to get the reaction as you go by. And this way makes it completely. Have you used one?
I haven't used it myself, but I've seen a lot of my footage from my friend.
I don't trust any cameras now. I don't think that.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I don't believe that news channels should be allowed to use cameras besides 360.
Right.
Because you got to know the whole story.
What are they manipulating?
What are they not showing?
Right.
Yeah, anyway. Well, high five guy. Brent, how do people find you if they want to find you?
You can just look on Instagram, Liberty Park High Five Guy with underscores under each word. Right now, if you just look up Liberty Park High Five Guy, it'd take you to my personal page. Maybe I need a fan page, quote unquote. But my name's Brent Walton, so you'll find me there as well.
The Waltons. See, you got it from the Waltons.
Whoa.
No, you did John Boy, and that was well, John Boy was a little morose, but the younger kid, what was the younger kid? He was the happy guy. Yeah. Any relation to the Walmart family?
No.
Oh, damn.
No. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Okay, I still have one more question.
Okay.
This is a good subject. Your life pre-High Five Guy and your life now, what has it made a noticeable difference in your life, in your overall happiness?
I would say yes, absolutely. You know, I definitely high five most places that I go, and you know, it's people smile and laugh, and you can see that glow, you know, that glimmer in their eyes. It's a beautiful thing.
Do you ever fist bump anybody on the way?
You know, from time to time, if they offer a fist bump, I'll take a fist bump. And I get that more at work for some reason.
My dad thinks that he invented the fist bump. He does. He likes to talk about how he introduced it to his Mormon ward. He started fist bumping, and there was a lot of resistance to it, but he finally won everybody over. And now everybody in his ward fist bumps. So, yeah, but I don't have any problem with the high five. It's a weird thing, and sometimes there is that, I don't want a high five, but I like it. I think you should push people to do positive things.
Well, you know,
at least give them the opportunity.
Whenever I kind of write about my high-fiving, post about it on Facebook, you know, I sign it off with, you know, live life now and spread joy always.
Why not?
Right?
That's good advice. Yeah.
So,
how are you going to go wrong with that?
I'd like to think.
I mean, it sounds pretty.
It
sounds pretty simplistic, but at the same time, how do you solve problems? By breaking things down to simple things.
You give joy to others, it comes back, right? You know it.
I believe
look at what you do.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And sometimes when you give misery to others, joy comes back too. I'm kidding. That's not true. But
this guy.
Schadenfreude is a real thing too. But no, that's good. I think that's good. And I didn't expect to meet the Liberty Park high five guy. And
I didn't expect to meet Markley.
But what's fun about this is this design of this thing was meant for this, and I've just been avoiding doing this. But it's because I started my Opinion Machine podcast last week that I thought, and first you asked me to play a song, and oftentimes I'll say no, even though I have a rule that I can't say no. And then...
Thank you for playing a song.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, thanks. And now you're the first podcast guy, and I think it went pretty well. How do you feel like it went?
I think it went great.
Have you ever been on a podcast before?
I have not been on a podcast.
Is this your first podcast?
This is my first podcast.
Well, you're my first stranger guest. My first guest was my dad, and then my friend Mikey, and my friend John Hancock tomorrow. He doesn't know he's going to be my But yeah, you're the first random stranger, and I've been planning on doing random strangers, and it makes me think that maybe I should interview people who approach me. Because that makes it pretty easy, right? And I've had this rule for myself with this van, too. It's like, maybe I'll just sit somewhere, and if somebody asks for a song, then I'll do it. Oh. But that's the first time I've ever done it that way. Except for I didn't plan it. I was really just having lunch. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you took the time to play this song.
Well, Brent Walton, it's been a pleasure to meet you. I hope you bring an ugly person with you one of these days, because I really would. You guys who are listening, you should look up Brent Walton. He's a very handsome guy. So when you hear this, you have to remember, this isn't an ugly person. This isn't a disfigured or disformed person with rashes on his body going around high-fiving. This is a handsome man who goes around and he's getting high fives. So that's some deep shit.
Thanks, Markley.
All right. Thanks for listening. Haha, fooled you, idiots. I was just testing you. You turned off the podcast. Now we're not talking to anybody. They turned it off. But no, there's a click that comes at the end. So we didn't do it.
You might have to edit like a little bit out there. Right?
So you asked if I do yoga, and I said no. I'm as inflexible with my body as I am with my opinions. And then you're going to tell me a yoga thing.
Well, I teach yoga as well. And but I came here to the park to do yoga one day, and on the little island here in Liberty Park, and there's a gazebo over there.
I've been there.
Yeah,
with Dum Dum.
And I brought a block rocker, portable speaker.
Yep, I've got one.
And I making some noise with that while I was doing yoga. I think I was playing Bob Marley.
Right.
Cranking out some Bob Marley while I was doing my yoga.
That's so stereotypical.
I know, right?
For a hippie.
Seriously, yeah, I look like a hippie, don't I?
You don't.
Yeah, you look way more like a hippie than I do.
I know, but
I'm judgmental.
And people think I'm a right-wing meanie, But
so anyway, I'm doing the yoga, and this lady approaches me, and she's kind of dressed nice, formalish, and I could tell right away. I was like, and there was maybe 10 or 15 people accumulated in the gazebo, and I was like, you want me to turn it down? She's like, yeah, we're about ready to have a wedding. And I was like, well, I'm almost done with yoga. So I turned it down. I finished my yoga. And while they're getting married, this older couple, probably in their I think 70s and 80s. Both second marriage, because their original spouse passed away. It was their second chance at love. And so they finished, and everybody clapped and whatever. And I said, "Hey, you guys want a first song? I think you could have a dance here."
Oh,
and
there you go.
they were like, I was like, "I got Spotify. Pick a song. Pick almost any song."
Wait, were they done with their wedding?
They
by
just
now?
finished.
Oh.
I congratulated them, and then I offered them a song. And they said, "Yeah, we'll take a song." I said, "What song?" And they said, Nat King Cole, "Unforgettable." So I pulled it up, and I was like the unofficial DJ of their first song randomly.
You want to know a funny thing? This is just weird because today I interviewed my dad on the first part of his thing.
Yeah.
He used to be a DJ, and I asked him, "What was one of your favorite interviews you've ever done?" And he said, "Nat Cole."
Wow.
Yeah, so he interviewed.
That's
But that's
crazy.
just both on the same day.
That's crazy.
Little serendipity.
What is that?
It's a little serendipity, little synchronicity with the
Yeah,
universe,
for
with the
sure.
yoga guy. This is what pisses me off because I like to have a bad attitude about things. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit
Yeah,
fun
I
to
think
have a
you
bad
like
attitude.
to say you have a bad attitude, but you got a good attitude down deep.
Absolutely, I'm a total
You
phony.
wouldn't drive around and give people all this beautiful music
I am
otherwise.
so full of shit you don't even know. But
That's an idea.
But I do like to have a bad attitude about stuff. But it does drive me crazy when often these fun little things happen with yoga type people. You know what I mean?
Those hippies.
Because I make fun of phony spiritual people all the time. Because I live in San Francisco and it is rife with everybody is a DJ and a guru. Like
I'm neither a DJ other than that one time, and I am not a guru.
Do your yoga practitioner students know you're the high five guy?
Most of them do, yeah. Because often I'll high five people in yoga, when they're in like a one arm side balance and they have one hand in the air or whatever. I'll occasionally wear the shirts and
Yeah.
I'll talk about it occasionally. Not everybody. Not every time.
Are your folks still with us on this planet?
Yeah.
And do they know that you're the high five guy?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What does your mom say about it?
She thinks it's a fun thing,
Yeah, it's a fun thing.
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
good.
boy, how many brothers and sisters have you got?
I got 2 half brothers, but they're my brothers.
Yeah,
I should just say they're my brothers.
I've got half brothers. We've got 17 siblings total.
Wow.
But there's only how many are there? I think there's 10 of us that have shared genetic material.
All right.
Only one full sister.
Okay.
Only one, and then the
Okay.
rest are halves and then steps.
All right.
And
That's a big clan.
The steps are basically you call them invaders. They invade your life whether you like it or not, which is fine. We invaded it. I'm an invader to them
Sure.
as well.
Yeah, you
what I
are.
mean? But so they're happy about your high five guy thing.
Yeah, everybody's pretty supportive, for sure.
When you're doing it, do you ever have moments of insecurity when you're doing it? Like, what the fuck am I doing?
It's funny. I occasionally, if I haven't done it for a minute, maybe I'm on vacation or something, I'll get a little momentary self-doubt. But the minute I get out here and I give a high five and somebody smiles at me,
that's the way it is with
light up,
playing.
Yeah, it just shifts.
Like you get into a mental thing where you're not doing it, or like whatever, something's keeping you from doing it.
Yeah.
And then, but once you do it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you do it, you go.
Yeah. The minute I get out here, it's like you're on stage. You're playing the music. This is my stage. And I even refer to it when I tell people the story. The first time I did it, at the getting my oil changed, and then I went to a park like a week later by my house where I used to live.
Yeah.
And remembered it and just did it spontaneously. And then I was like, you know what? I'm taking this to the big stage.
You're gonna do
quote
it.
unquote Liberty Park.
Oh, we didn't get to that. So you did it that first time. How much time transpired between the first time and the second time?
Maybe a week or 10 days.
And
I
then
don't,
you
I
did
don't
it
run
again,
a ton.
but you didn't. But the second time you did it, you still didn't think this is my thing.
No, I mean I just went out for a run. It wasn't intentional. And then when I was out there, in a much smaller park with much less people, I just remembered the feeling and did it spontaneously again. And then I decided after that I was gonna.
Do you ever have high five guy dreams?
Oh, not that I remember.
No.
I know I should be making up a story right now.
No, don't. No, honestly, I don't. I was just joking with that. I discovered in my early 20s. I was a liar as a kid, but
Yeah.
in my early 20s, I realized that the truth is far more interesting, especially if you drill down into it. Like
I agree.
you can't really tell a lie that is as interesting as the truth, even if the truth is something like, "No, I never had a dream about it." You know what I mean? But you can drill into that, like you can offshoot it, but
You could.
making lies up it's really not helpful.
We're honest guys at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is your yoga place? Where do people find you on that?
I teach at Salt Lake Power Yoga. It's a studio right downtown, and I also teach at 24 Hour Fitness.
Are there lots of yoga people, lots of yoga instructors, or are you the main guy?
No, there's a lot. Yeah, I think we have 35 instructors at Salt Lake Power
So
Yoga.
you do yoga every day.
I do yoga almost every day, personally.
How
for
long does
myself.
it take a person who? I'm not kidding you. I'm so inflexible. I'm like a fucking brittle old man, and I'm only 52. You know what I mean? But how long does it take for a non-flexible person to get flexible?
I think it just depends on how often you do it. Like if you did it, 7 days a week, you'd be surprised what happens.
Are some people just more flexible though? Because I've never been flexible. Even when I was a kid, like when you're supposed to just be totally flexible.
I mean, there might be a natural, inclination towards flexibility, but I can do pretty much the splits, and that was not where I started.
Does yoga get a person into shape? Like, can you take a fat person, overweight person, and get them into yoga, and have them without other forms of exercise? Will it burn calories?
It's absolutely good. I teach heated power yoga. It's 95 to 100 degrees.
I hate that.
All right, and and
why?
it's vigorous. It's a very physical practice, and you could absolutely get in shape. That's mostly what I do now. I run a little bit. I only run a couple days a week.
Because you're using your muscles. You're not just stretching.
Yeah,
them,
we're doing arm balances. You're doing a vinyasa, which is like a high to low push-up. So it's like kind of a reverse push-up. We're doing handstands if you want to do them. There's a lot of physicality that's available. Though, just to be fair, if somebody's starting out, like you came, we give you all kinds of modifications. You don't need to do any of that. We repeatedly tell you it's your practice. Do what feels right for your body, and just keep coming back to your mat.
Yeah.
And yoga works. Yoga works.
Yeah, it probably does. Well, I mean, just in my observation, I don't meet a lot of people who do yoga that look
How
out
old do you
of
think
shape.
I am?
I would say, well, based on some of the things you've said, I would say put you about my age because you've been here for 20 years. You probably moved about the same time.
He's intuitive.
So, you know what I mean? Just based on things that you've said, I would say you're about my age.
40, almost 49.
Yeah, so you're just a little younger.
So we can get you flexible.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't
And a
live
whole
here
lot
in-
more.
I don't live here in Salt Lake. Can we do it? Can we do it in one session?
I don't know about that.
There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. You just really stretch that shit. Make it because flexibility is good for staying in shape, so you don't break your bones, right?
It's just one. It's just one aspect. There's so much more to yoga beyond that. I mean, there's body weight strength, core weight strength, balance. Your mobility, your obviously peace of mind.
Yeah.
That whole mindfulness aspect. I mean,
Do you go down that? Because a lot of that guru stuff seems a little creepy.
I'm not really the guru type of stuff.
Do you do all the namaste stuff?
We do namaste at the end. We do a couple of ohms, 3 ohms at the beginning, and generally 1 to 3 ohms at the end. Just more of like a unifying energy, and we have a big focus on breath. Inhale up dog, exhale downward facing dog. You're kind of coordinating your breath, your movement, and then I tend to gravitate towards like a lot of positive messages. Like you're a badass. Like I might say something along the lines of encouraging you to be your best self, that you are capable of anything, that you're limitless, that whatever where you're at right now. Yeah, real positive messages is what I tend to convey in my classes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple more questions about yoga stuff.
All right.
Because you're my first random stranger guest.
Sure.
And so I found a real prevalent thing around a lot of yoga people. This is a criticism, and I'm not giving it on you because you don't seem like that type of person. But there are so many that do that namaste and all that holy stuff, but then in the next breath they'll be like, I fucking hate Republicans, or you know what I mean? I really hate. But then it seems like you've got all this thing that seems like it's so nice and so positive, but then there's this other thing that comes out like, can't stand Donald Trump. He's a Nazi. Everybody that, you just go, wait a minute. How does that fit in with the namaste thing?
Well, I think that in any given, profession or, you could throw in religion, there's, are you a Christian or are you Christ-like? And I'm not even saying that that I am or I'm not.
Using as an
but
example.
As an example, and there's people that there's police officers that we know are crooked, right? And you can just go lawyers and go on down the line.
In your estimation, though, does the yoga thing really result in people being more positive?
I think if you follow the path, and whatever that looks like for you, and that's going to be different for everybody. If you take it and become be yogi, be a yogi.
Yeah.
Then that's gonna.
What does that mean? Be a yogi. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't.
Just be authentic.
Is that what yogi means?
No. Well, a yogi is someone that practices yoga.
Okay.
And yoga is union in its most basic form. And we talk about union of breath and body often.
All
so there's probably a lot of different interpretations, but it is about union at the simplest form.
Well, I must say you represent it well. You come off with a positive vibe. You approached me. I was just sitting here minding my own business, and you came off very positive. So whatever you're doing, it seems to be working. I don't know what your dark side is.
You're very kind.
I don't know what your dark side is. I'm guessing it's there somewhere.
I'm not perfect.
Yeah, everybody has a dark side. You know what I mean? And I want to know what it is.
Ooh, I don't know.
We can find it out later.
Maybe not today.
We'll thumb through your Facebook first, and we'll find your terrible posts. We'll find it, and then we'll tweet about it.
There's like 10,000 photos in there. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that really is the end. So now we've gone almost 45 minutes. Ooh. That's still short.
Yeah.
We're not approaching Joe Rogan style here. We're keeping it short.
He likes to talk.
He does
or listen,
talk.
Or both.
I think he does like to talk, actually.
Yeah.
He just blah blah blah, and sometimes he just goes on. I'm like, Rogan, hey, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about chimpanzees right now. You know what I mean? It's not even on the topic. And we've heard you talk about chimpanzees 5,000 times. Anyway, that's enough of that. Brent Walton, thank you for coming back for round 2, an extra bonus 13 minutes.
Thank you again. It's been my pleasure.
All right. Thanks for listening.